call to order the planning action meeting tonight. Roll call, Mr. Barwin.
Mr. Jim Bard.
Here.
Mr. Mike Carey.
Here.
Mrs. Becky Wolfinger.
Here.
Dr. Nathan Goetz.
Here.
Dr. Michael Lyman. Mr. Kirk Noggle.
Here.
Mr. Fred Scott.
Here.
Mr. Drew Alosi.
Here.
And Mr. Darren Donovan.
Here. Did want to make a note that the board did meet in executive session for personnel matters, negotiations, legal issues, and real estate. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
As we begin deliberations this evening, let us once again be reminded of our duty to represent all the children of this community, regardless of age, sex, race, or creed, and regardless of need or ability. This meeting is being live streamed and uploaded to the district's YouTube channel. May we now have a moment of silence to reflect on our thoughts, plans, and actions on behalf of the students of the Shippensburg Area School District, and also a moment of silence for Tony A. Stoops, a teacher at Shippensburg Area Senior High School for 30 years, Marshall K. Malley, teacher at the Shippensburg Area School District for 31 years, and former head baseball coach at the high school, and Jane L. Bender, a 1972 graduate of the Shippensburg Area Senior High School. Mr. August, are there any changes to the agenda?
Yes, item 3C under the superintendent's report, item and information on the program of study will be given by high school principal Blake Fritz.
Is there any other changes to the agenda?
Make the motion to approve the agenda and then I'll.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda as amended by Mr. August?
Fred Scott, make a motion to approve.
A motion made by Mr. Scott. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mrs. Wolfinger.
Before we vote on the agenda, I'd like to make an awkward motion to amend the agenda to add one item to the discussion agenda. So I guess this would be item 6, what comes after H? I. To discuss adding a position to the Act 93 agreement that would be essentially some kind of vice principal, elementary vice principal position.
You go for a second?
All right, so
So I think we first need to vote on my motion to amend the agenda, and then we will vote whether to approve the amended agenda.
So all in favor of Dr. Goetz' amendment to adding a possible position to the Act 93 agreement for a some sort of like a vice principal position. All in favor of that, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed to that?
We adding 1 or 3?
I think it's creating the position.
Position?
Well, the motion is to discuss adding one position, yes.
Okay. Yes.
So that,
Now we have an amended agenda. We need to vote on the amended agenda.
all right, so now we'll take a vote on the amended agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So there's no citizen comments regarding agenda items. So we're going to move on from that portion to our reports. 3A, the student representatives, they're not here this evening. So 3B, Mr. August, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Next meeting, I'll be giving a more detailed projected enrollment report. This is kind of the current state of the building. In the agenda, attached agenda, outside cyber total, there's a mistake. It actually is 277 across those 3 levels. Total in-district enrollment is 3,768. At the elementary level, we have a total of 1,161. At the middle school level, 888, and at the high school level, 1,115, for again a grand total of 3,768 students. That concludes my enrollment piece. I'd like to invite Mrs. Fritz up to detail her program of study at the high school.
Good evening, guys. How are you? Happy School Board Appreciation Month.
Thank you.
You should have a little gift there from the Shippensburg Area High School. We really appreciate you taking time to listen to this tonight. This is something that is very near and dear to the high school's hearts. So we just really hope you enjoy hearing more about the program of studies. We hold a lot of pride in it, and it's a fabulous representation of our students' academic programming at the high school. So, and it embodies all of the profile of a grad traits, the mission, the vision of the district. So we're excited to share that with you tonight. All right. Okay. I'm gonna ask if you had it up there already. Just so you know, some of the goals tonight is just what is a program of studies, how does it connect to the mission, vision, and profile of a grad, the changes and modifications, the things we'd like to highlight, and just the next steps as far as moving forward. So what is a program of studies? It really is essentially the roadmap that our students follow. It's our academic offerings, our pathways, courses available, graduation requirements, policies around credits, grading, course selection, and just how students can prepare for their post-secondary high school goals. So just keep that in mind as we're going through this tonight, that really is what a true program of studies is. And then if you're using it effectively, it'll help students with their goal setting, it helps them with their decision making, the master scheduling that we focus all of our teacher schedules around, and then just communicates the academic integrity of our students and our priorities. So before I even dive in, just a reminder that our goal is to empower students to define their talents. So a lot of the things that we spent a lot of time on over from the beginning of the school year till now was really trying to create opportunities for students to feel empowered and define the talents that they would like to do outside of high school. And just to, prepared to contribute, prepared to succeed. How are we preparing these students to be, the best part of themselves when they leave here? Just so you know, a lot of these adjustments also connect to the profile of a grad and all those contributors that we have in the profile of a grad. So it strengthens our college and career, expands student choice, student flexibility in their scheduling, helps balance academic rigor with also just the development of the whole child. Improves equity and access, enhances real-world opportunities, and supports continuous improvement. So we're really trying to, as we have morphed into the new format that you have a copy of, I'm assuming they have a copy of the new program of studies. It looks a little bit different than the old one, so that's why you're not seeing an old one and new one, because we reformed it to be more user-friendly. Okay. So on the next slide, you will see the profile of grad. Sorry, I didn't go through that part yet, Leslie.
So stay there.
Yeah. So I just want to say that our high school already demonstrates phenomenal progress towards the profile of a grad. So this program of studies is truly building on all of the amazing foundations that our staff and our teachers, our counselors have all done. And it's just really highlighting all those things and then just adding on to it. So I listed a bunch of the things that already are existing within our world at the high school that is going really great and connects to the profile of a grad. So this is to expand on that. Okay. I think I already hit the next slide, so you can go on to the 3-year plan. So this is a continuous process. So this year already, starting the day one of in-service, teachers were defining their department's needs, wants, and improvements. We analyzed 9 other different school districts' program of studies to see how we differed, how we were similar, things we liked, things we didn't like, how they distributed credits. We used in-service to have department meetings, small group work, analyzing the existence program of studies, and then eventually what changes we wanted to make to align with the mission, vision, and the profile of a grad. We're currently creating new course selection sheets, which I also think I gave you guys, to help you see how the students' programming exists, what a 9th grader to a 12th grader should look like, and then making sure that you know like the magnitude of what is offered to each student throughout their years. So that's a lot. That's a lot of really great work that our staff has done this year, and you can see the list of things that we have done in year 1. Year 2, we have a focus on like making really accessible course descriptions, creating partnerships with the local area that will satisfy the pathways that I will talk about and clarify what that means here in a second. You know, how we're marketing and utilizing the program of studies so that our families and students are making educated decisions about their programming. Just looking at our academics and just making sure that they are where we want them to be. And then investigate advisement options, so looking at ways that we can connect students with really investing in creating, you know, their program from 9th grade to 12th grade. And then our 3rd year, you know, getting feedback from staff, students, and continuing committee work so that we're continuously growing and improving as things change. So.
Ms. Fritz, could you just maybe expand a little bit on what you mean by advisement?
Yeah. So in some other schools, an advisement would be where throughout their entire time, so right now we have an admin homeroom teacher. So as they come in as a 9th grade, they get an admin homeroom teacher. That teacher stays with them until they graduate. So a lot of other schools are creating, alongside their PBIS teams, are creating an advisement period where students have time to look at the program of studies, lay out what they're interested in. So for example, if I want to be an engineer, you know, they would be able to be directed to what courses they could take to be an engineer and lay that out from year to year about what they would want to take. They would have the chance to look at like the different math offered. It's just an opportunity for them to really look at what is offered and individualize their program to do what they want once they set a goal. And I would also say it's a chance for them to look at their Smart Futures information that they do with their counselors. So if their Smart Futures say that like I really want to be a nurse, then these pathways, which I'll get into, would help guide them in what they could take at the high school to be a nurse, to be an engineer, to be a computer scientist. So having that opportunity to have that connection with their admin homeroom teacher would be a really great tool and a great mentorship for opportunity. Did I miss anything?
You're good.
All right. All right. So the next part is the changes and modifications. So again, it does look a little different than it has previously. I tried to highlight all of the changes or modifications that we made, but I plan to highlight them here as well. So, you know, we added a scheduling timeline to help families and students figure out like how different parts go throughout the year. Early graduation requirements, course levels, Act 158, senior privilege, scheduling sheets, and pathways. So I'm not going to, but that's the overview of what we're going to talk about this evening.
And could you just talk about Act 158 really quick?
Yeah. So Act 158 by the state, and it is on in the program of studies in a beautiful little diagram that's color-coded and everything. but it is the ways that students can reach their graduation requirements. So they have one of 5 different pathways to meet those graduation requirements. So they're listed in there. This is 100% by the state of Pennsylvania. So the Keystone Proficiency Pathway, Keystone Composite, and then there's some alternative pathways that they can follow to complete their graduation. That wasn't in there before, but it is in there now, so it's outlined for families if they're trying to seek it out, or for you to seek it out. So the scheduling timeline's in there. That's something that we found that a lot of families wanted from us, was when does scheduling start, when should they have their recommendations in, when can they change their schedules to. So that is in there, and a portion of this layout would be on the website so that they could have quick and easy access to it. Early graduation requirements, they are, you approved to this year to go to lineman school. So they did graduate early. They're now having an opportunity to go to lineman school. So that's an example of an appropriate early graduation, that they had completed all their credits and that they have hit the requirements that we have there that I had provided to you when those students were requesting early graduation. So we just added that to the program of study so it was clear to families. All right. So the graduation requirements, again, focusing around that flexibility and wanting to have students really create a schedule of what they are interested after high school. We did make some adjustments to the graduation requirements, still totaling to 28, but just redistributing them a little bit to, again, allow student choice and allow students to create their own pathway based upon what they're interested in. So you'll just see that some of the changes are now represented with 3 credits, social studies and science. You'll see that personal finance is now a graduation requirement, which is represented by the state. And then again, redistributing some of them. So now we have a full credit of humanities, which exists in your music, art, and world languages. It previously was a half credit. Now we have moved up to a full credit, again, looking at the whole student and making sure that they're prepared post-high school. Same with practical arts, getting them 1 full credit, which is ag, business, and family consumer science. All great things that you guys have invested in as a school board since I've been here, adding an additional ag teacher, getting a STEM lab, getting family consumer science. We are now able to really expand those programs, and I think this is really representative in this graduation requirements. And additionally, we have that students will take geometry, and this opens up the opportunity for students that may want to take an applied mathematics course, which would prepare them for their future career plans. Okay, so those are the changes we made to the graduation requirements. We consolidated some information on weighted grading into one area. It was kind of spread out and tried to make consistent language. So information about college courses used to only be available in dual enrollment section in the informational packet. We've added some course weighting to college classes, which were not previously weighted. Non-weighted courses are typically your introductory courses. Honors weighted courses are the ones you take beyond introductory material and delving in deeply to topics. And then AP weighted courses then take the exceptions of honors courses to a higher level, typically requiring more work, devoted outside classroom time, and go into depth farther than the honors level. Okay, so that
Ms.
is,
Fritz, can I interrupt you again?
yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about dual enrollment classes within that?
Yeah, so we're also on the next, can you go to the next slide, please? So the college guidelines and procedures is represented here. So in addition to the weighted grading, which again has been modified, so that dual enrollment section is slightly different. So we've added course weighting to college classes, which were not previously weighted before. But we've also added that a college class may be in lieu of a high school course. A great example of this would be if they took a literature course. That is what our 12th graders are required to take in their 12th grade year. If they took a literature course at the university, we would credit that as a high school requirement. So we have the in lieu of to offer that to students, as well as the change in the weighted grading. Does that answer your question?
Particularly the part about college courses were not weighted. previously. They are now aligned to our other academic levels.
Okay. We just added some additional information about course levelings, what a modified courses, or academic or honors, just so that families understood like where the continuum was. So that was just something that was requested to be added.
Can I
Yeah.
ask you a question about
Yeah.
weighting?
Sure.
Is there some sort of, I don't know, are there different organizations, national organizations or whatever, that provide standards for weighting? Or do y'all just make it up sort of out of whole cloth, every school individually?
I mean, we looked at 9 different programs of studies from the surrounding area, but I don't know of anything that comes down.
To answer your question, Dr. Goetz, I'm not aware of any standardization when it comes to course weighting. And my understanding from working with counselors is that and you may be able to speak to it better, the colleges kind of like filter that out based on the hardest classes that you have.
We try to, but mostly it just all looks like nonsense.
Right.
My perspective. So that's why I was wondering.
So we just looked at what we'd done previously and surrounding area to see.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
And then we put some guidelines in for our senior privilege. So this is something that's offered to 12th grade students who are on track for graduation, who have demonstrated responsible behaviors in order to maintain the privilege. Those are some expectations, monitoring and accountability that we are going to have. So we've had this the last 2 years, just adding, again, those expectations for students to make sure it remains as a privilege and not something other than that. Okay. So I'm not sure if the pathways word is something that you may be familiar with or not. So I just wanted to make sure to explain to you what their purpose is, how we determined which ones we wanted to start with, and perhaps how many of other schools have started doing this already. So pathways are about giving kids as many opportunities as possible to go a direction so they can succeed after high school. So to tie back and to the mission and vision again, prepared to contribute, prepared to succeed. Pathways are going to be a new concept. So just remember, this is all these, different schools around us are also creating these pathways. It's a wonderful guide for students to see what the high school has to offer to get them to what they want to do after high school. So we have started with 4 offerings of pathways. I'm going to go back to the new course offerings. So. And we're going to have an engineering pathway. I couldn't really screenshot it to add it to a slide. So if you had the course, or if you had the program of studies open, it would be on page 47. So just like a quick view, there's a nice little table. It gives them what they would be a good course offerings 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th grade year. It's not like golden. If they decide as an 11th grader they want to be an engineer, they still will be able to see what they could take that would be in their content. That would be a good course for them. So we did an engineering pathway, and we're able to utilize a lot of the courses in our new STEM lab, and able to expand on those opportunities with the new STEM lab equipment. So we thought that would be a really great pathway to start highlighting. It's also within, when you look at what the top 10 majors are after high school, engineering is one of the top 10 majors alongside nursing. So those are 2 that we have put in here as pathways of study for students to have a guide.
Just to clarify, when you say the top 10 of our students, correct?
Yes, the top 10 of our students.
Okay, so
high school, like if that's what they majored in post-high school, yes. So we added that one in there. We also added business. Business was within the top 10 as well. Nursing was within the top 10. And then we have a lot of students that are interested in animal science. So we also, we were able to offer a lot more courses once we had the secondary ag teacher. So we have that as a pathway as well. Do you guys have any questions on that? One that we're really interested in adding would be some type of welding program as well, but that is going to definitely take hopefully some funding to get us some welding, new welding equipment and be able to sustain the materials needed for that program. But I have on my desk a welding club that would really like to happen. That is by a bunch of students that got together and they would really like to have this, but we would need more equipment and supplies to make that happen as well.
Just to add on to that, these current pathways are primarily academic. The goal is to have a system for career pathways to specific things like welding jobs or specific skills that we could do in-house. We can't do them all, but where we can expand additional programs like the welding to get kids more exposure and get more kids in those who may have a bent to do those things. So when Mrs. Fritz is talking about pathways, this is kind of the initial cut. We will continue to have discussions about what we can offer to all kids. And I'll just throw it out here that the goal of pathways is that every kid who walks across the stage by 12th grade has a plan, or at least has been exposed to something to allow them to make a choice on their next steps.
And just so you know, just jumping like to the new course offerings is another great example. We are offering some new courses, one being photography. We had a photography club that has consistently over 20 plus entries, and over 50% of our population is voting on them. So we have a high interest in students that would like to engage in learning more about photography. We didn't have a course on that. So that is something that we would like to add. Additionally, a home repair and improvement lab, another hands-on course similar to kind of what Mr. August just said. A piano 2 class, expanding on, we have students that are very interested in intro to piano, so expanding that into piano 2. And then having that applied mathematics class, which is a real world modeling class, and you can read the course description. But those students, would be taking it that, are interested in a trade, who are interested in something post-secondary that may not be a collegiate path. So the way new courses work is that we would run them the first year, make sure there was good interest, and then we would go for board approval the following year for the curriculum.
Particularly interested in that home repair and improvement lab. We ran a similar course, in another district that could only hold about 20 kids, and we would often have 160 who would sign up to take it. It's practical things that you need to do around your house, and it was wildly popular. So I'm very excited about that course offering, along with all of them, but that one in particular is usually a student favorite.
You said you said about a teacher new student come, you'll have that person all the way through. That'll alleviate some of the pressure off the guidance counselors, won't it?
I mean, the guidance counselors are still going to have to support them with like dual enrollment, support them with any type of like work-based learning that like that, end of the connection. We have a lot of our students that go on these career field trips that Miss Akers does, and the counselors are pretty instrumental in knowing their kids to be able to say, hey, you should go on this experiential trip. You should consider work-based learning. You should consider that during an advisement period, they're creating a program, but the counselor really hones in on that. And they are the ones that are doing the, the program, I said it earlier, the program where they look at their different course offerings and they meet their requirement for, college and career readiness standards. So the counselors are in charge of helping them create their college and career readiness standards. So yes, and it'll be a great mentorship, more one-on-one with students, but the counselors still play a pretty instrumental role in that process.
So Fred, it is absolutely another person in a student's ear.
Yes,
having those conversations, helping to guide them through the process. I don't know that it takes much off the counselor. It just gives more supports to the student by having another caring adult who is helping to guide them through the program of study towards what they want to do in life after high
And,
school.
and it really is happening now. Our teachers are making wonderful connections. Like we have students that are, at Penn State right now talking about how incredible their anatomy and physiology teacher was in making them get to that level to be a nurse at Penn State. So like, there's not maybe a formalized process, but our teachers are doing a phenomenal job trying to identify students like niches or career goals and work their way to that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. All right. Any other questions? Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just, as a note, want to thank again Mrs. Fritz, the entire high school staff, for the time, effort, energy, tears, blood, sweat it took to get this program of study where it was. Mrs. Fritz, how long since we had touched it meaningfully? Guessing? Do you remember? Okay. Okay, but thanks to you, your entire administrative team, and the high school teachers for this very heavy lift. It is not a finished document in my mind. There's still, but it is a great start for us to continue to explore how to live the vision of preparing our kids for their next steps.
Can I just add on real quick? I just want to say thank you because as a mom of somebody at the high school and someone that recently graduated, this is going to make it a lot easier. I can see a lot of value in the student really being able to gauge on their own because they're kind of at that level that they can kind of, find their way through it. But as a parent, being able to reference it is going to make my life a lot easier. So I appreciate the time you guys put into it.
And one last comment of praise, one of our district themes has been engaging students, and this program of study helps to do that better and really allow them to have some choice. Ninth and 10th grade is about compliance. It's about getting those keystones done. It's about checking some boxes. 10th and 11th grade is about exploring what you're going to be doing after high school. And this program of study really is a giant leap forward in allowing our students to do that better. So thank you.
I appreciate the need to know the textile as well as the AP, that it meets so many different avenues that we really do need to get into. So I appreciate that hard for that.
All right, thank you.
I'll just second everything they said. Thank you for all the time and effort. It looks like you put a lot of that into that, so I appreciate that. And yeah, a lot of forward thinking in there as well. So that's really nice to see that. All right, moving on to the consent agenda. We have 4A, approval of minutes. 4B, the finance report, including bills of payment, financial reports, and budget reports. 4C, the Ship Start MOU with the Shippensburg University. And 4D, personnel for professional and support staff. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda for 4A through 4D?
So moved. Second.
Motion by Dr. Goetz and a second by Mr. Carey. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Then we have item 4E, personnel for administration. Danielle N. Thomas, Director of Human Resources for the Shippensburg Area School District, at a prorated salary of $90,000 effective January 20th, 2026, replacing Nicole Weber. Hiring dependent upon the successful completion of all required paperwork and clearances. The employment contract is attached. Is there is there approval for item 4E?
So moved.
Second.
All right, motion by Mr. Carey and second by Mr. Scott. Any discussion? Do a roll call, Mr. Barwin.
Sure. Mr. Carey,
Yes.
Mrs. Wolfinger,
Yes.
Dr. Goetz,
Yes.
is absent. Mr. Noggle,
Yes.
Mr. Scott,
Yes.
Mr. Bard,
Yes.
Mr. Alosi,
Yes.
and Mr. Donovan.
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
Excited to welcome Mrs. Thomas to the team, but I also believe one of our new hires, Ms. Ziegler's here. She just wants to stand up and wave. Congratulations. We're very excited to have you start at the high school. Thanks for coming tonight, allowing the board to put a name with a face. So thank you.
All right, moving on to the action agenda. 5A, facilities use request for high school, middle school girls soccer. The administration recommends approval of a request for the high school, middle school girls soccer programs to use the high school gym on Sundays from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. starting January 18th through March 1st for indoor open gym. The facilities during the winter months are booked due to winter sports and outside rentals, and Sundays are the only time available for indoor open gyms for soccer. School board approved coaches would be running the open gyms. Is there a motion to approve 5A?
Fred Scott, make a motion to approve.
Motion made by Mr. Scott. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mr. Bard. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 5B, exchange students for the 2026-2027 year. Per school board policy number 239, two exchange students, one from Italy and the other from Germany, have met all of the qualifications to attend the Shippensburg Area High School for the 26-27 school year. Administration recommends approval of these students. Is there a motion to approve 5B?
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Bard, second by Mrs. Wolfinger. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Item 5C, PASBO interim service contract. Administration recommends approval of the attached contract with Pennsylvania Association of School Business Officials for Mark Holman to provide intern Human Resource Director services. Is there a motion to approve 5C?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Wolfinger and a second by Mr. Scott. Any discussion?
Yes, I have a point. Isn't this supposed to read that it's retroactive?
We will, technically, it should read retroactive. I mean, we're agreeing to this contract. He's already started. So he's currently he's done some work for us due to the nature of the timing of Mrs. Weber's release. But the bulk of his time is started today and is moving forward, till the next 2 weeks or into a month. So yes, there is some aspect that is retroed. The majority is still in front of us.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so for, we got one more here. Item 5D, high school PA system. Administration and Facilities Committee recommend approval of the quote to replace the PA system at the high school. Is there a motion to approve 5D?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Noggle and second by Mr. Carey. Discussion?
Yeah, I would recommend, just in my opinion, to get an estimate from the same people who did the stadium. So if we have a problem, it's all like the same, you're not dealing with this company and that company, and that's just my recommendation, but
Okay, we can do that.
Mr. August, we make a note of that too.
I can.
Is there any more further discussion on that?
Only if, as long as whatever it's tying into, whoever best suits to cover all because I'm sure we have been piecemealing some of that around, so if that one works best to do that,
All right.
yes, but that needs to be considered as well.
Just so I'm clear, this is the motion is to move forward with the quote that's on the table. I'm able to get pricing from the other group, but I'm not sure, if that's the desire to get more quotes, then we probably should table this item or vote it down here.
Is this one that already come out of facilities, the request?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yes. That,
There were some other quotes, I think, brought to facilities as well. And this one is co-stars, so it
correct.
refrains us from bidding out. I don't know if the vendor we use for the stadium, if they're considered co-stars or not, or KPN, but
I don't know.
yeah, we might have to bid out if they're not considered co-stars or KPN.
So I would just make sure that we're clear that, if we're voting on this, then we're moving forward with the quote that was there, that was vetted through facilities.
We saw the pricing.
This was one that I think Mr. Drawball was comfortable with too, the vendor.
Correct.
I think he's worked with them in the past, not saying just coming out of facilities from what I heard.
And we've already seen
I'd like to
multiple.
see us move forward with what we've got, because it's considered more of a safety issue. I do understand Mr. Bard's concerns. It just didn't dawn on us to check with that particular company.
We've already seen multiple quotes then from
We
other companies.
We have.
They were there.
Okay, just not Mr. Bard's specifically.
I can try to get a quote from them, Mr. Bard, if you're still interested in that.
It's fine.
Any further discussion on this? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so then for,
We still have 5E. Oh, okay.
so for items, the next three items here, 5E, 5F, and 5G, want to invite Sue up here to kind of speak a little bit about these, something to celebrate.
Hi, everybody.
Good evening.
We've got 3 agenda items from the Greyhound Foundation. All 3 are different. Number 1 is corporate tax program funding for EITC, which is the Educational Improvement Tax Credits. And we were able to expand the program this year to include a lot of district-wide STEM initiatives. And that is the first one that you're seeing on there for the STEM programs. And thank you to Sharon Lawrence and all of the teachers involved for having worked so hard to get this all whittled down to where I could make sense of it and then put it forward to the state to get approval. So that's Mike Swartz for his applied design and laser at the high school, and Leslie Tritt with pond renovation and biodiversity programming at the middle school. It's Sharon's RoboHounds at the high school. It's Amanda Kirkpatrick, Chief Science Officer program at the middle school. It's Melinda Fowler's STEM competition at the high school, and Kelly Beer's engine repair students at the high school. And she is thrilled to have 10 new engines with 3-year warranties because the ones we had couldn't be rebuilt anymore because they had been used for so many years. So we would like approval of that $25,000. And the second one is a sponsorship and proposal that's been in the works for over a year, and that is with Volvo, and it's a dual level sponsorship. They will agree to come in and provide us with $30,000 a year for 5 years. $10,000 a year is to give support to the stadium and its build out and to the Sashes campus. And 100,000 will be put towards what is near and dear to their heart and donor specific as to STEM initiatives. The third one is the Shippensburg University sponsorship, and that's a 3-year contract at $5,000 a year, also for the stadium and build out here on the campus for all things athletics related. Do you have questions for me? Do you need more information than that?
I would just like to point out to the board 5E, all those STEM things are, STEM is highly engaging to students. And that's one of our goals is to engage our students while they're at school, and things like this allow us to do that better and more frequently. So thank you, Sue, for your efforts on that and the other two agreements.
And I want to say thank you to the Greyhound Foundation Board, because we have quite a few representatives here this evening. It's, I think, one of the first of its kind opportunities where we're putting forward $190,000 in funding at one time, and so we're kind of proud, and we are absolutely proud to support the district and its students.
I really want to thank you. Sue and the Greyhound Foundation. There's a tremendous amount of work that goes into the effort over time and those relationships that you build over time. And the dollars you bring in are not tax dollars. They're money to help initiatives that help students directly, help the teachers directly, help the district over the course of the time here, and the athletic facilities. So just hats off to the work you're doing, and I look forward to more.
Does anybody else have anything to say on that?
Just that you're amazing, but you already know that.
Yeah, thank you for all the time and effort you guys put into it. It's really appreciated. All right, so for item 5E, the Greyhound Foundation EITC funding for the Shippensburg Area School District STEM programs. Is there a motion to approve 5E?
Can I make a motion to approve items 5E through 5G, all three together?
I second.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm going to vote on that motion. Discussion on the motion, then vote on it.
All right, so there was a motion made by Dr. Goetz to go ahead with 5E, 5F, and 5G.
So moved.
Oh, combining them first.
And then voting on
So moved.
Yeah.
Second.
All right. Dr. Goetz made the motion, and then Mr. Noggle seconded. So they're now combined.
it. We got to vote on it. We have to vote on it.
All in favor of combining 5E, 5F, and 5G?
So moved.
So move.
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
Okay, maybe let's do that one more time. All those
It's
in
the first
favor
meeting of the year.
of combining.
Yeah, it's a little rust here. All in favor of combining items 5E, 5F, 5G, say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, so now that they're all combined, is there a motion to approve item 5E, 5F, and 5G as one?
Fred Scott make a motion to approve all three.
Second.
Okay, a motion was made by Mr. Scott, and a second was made by Mrs. Wolfinger. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, guys. All right, and that brings us to item 5H, the Shippensburg SASE agreement. Administration recommends approval of the 4-year contract with the Shippensburg Area Education Association, pending final review from the district solicitor.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by Mrs. Wolfinger and second made by Mr. Carey. Is there any discussion?
I would like to add just comment. Ms. Wolfinger, I can maybe speak for her, but she and I both started here recently. And so it's been a short process for the two of us, but there's a large number of people where this is taking a very long time. And I know a lot of work by the board and the association has been put into this. So, we're not privy to how those discussions took place or why it was as long of a period as it was. But to say I'm delighted that it is over and both sides have agreed to the tentative agreement, the agreement we're going to vote on right now, it's very exciting. So we can focus on the bigger and better things going on in the district. So I could see maybe we start this thing called early bird conversations, early bird negotiations now, and start looking at year 5, 6, 7, 8, because I think it's a 4-year contract, but at least we start the ball rolling early. There's no motion with that.
Any further discussion on that? Mr. Barwin, you want to run roll call?
Sure. Mrs. Wolfinger,
Absolutely, yes.
Dr. Goetz,
Yes.
Dr. Lyman's absent, Mr. Noggle,
Yes.
Mr. Scott,
Yes.
Mr. Bard,
Yes.
Mr. Carey,
Yes.
Mr. Alosi,
Yes.
Mr. Donovan.
Yes.
8 yes, 0 no, motion passes.
All right. And moving on to the discussion portion of the agenda. Go over these here and kind of take them one by one. If people have questions or comments, feel free to speak out. 6A, the resolution not to raise taxes above the index for the 26-27 budget. District administration recommends approval of the board resolution to limit an increase in the real estate property tax millage rate for the district for the 26-27 budget to no more than the adjusted Act 1 index of 4.7%. Jarvis, do you want to speak a little bit about that?
Yes, so this is a requirement to receive ready-to-learn adequacy money from the state, of which we're slated to get north of $3 million,
It's almost 3.1 million, yeah.
$3.1 million. In exchange for that, a requirement is that boards pass a resolution not to go above the index that is provided by the state. In order to get those funds, we have to have this resolution passed, which has historically been something that we've done as a board. Going above the index requires a referendum anyway. We would have to get a much higher rate of a potential tax increase to cover the money that we would not be getting from the state that is not coming from our local taxpayers. So I think it's a state legislation trying to just make sure that boards are staying within the index. And the carrot is the adequacy money, of which we are one of the winners in the state. I'm happy to have Mr. Barwin answer any other questions that may come up.
This has always been part of the budget process, but something new with it is this ready-to-learn adequacy money. If you're going to accept that money, you're agreeing to not go above the Act 1 index of 4.7%. So we're just going to vote on next meeting to stay within the Act 1 index, not saying that we're going to
So
go.
that conditional bit is new this year?
It was new last year.
Last
To receive that, yeah, because adequacy money was in the budget was the first time last year. We received, I think, 1.2 million, 1.3 million of this ready-to-learn adequacy money.
Yeah. I just didn't remember anything about that conditional.
Yep. Yeah, you can't do it.
Wondered if it was a.
I think it's part of the agreement for both sides. If you're going to give them this money, they're not going to go above. They're going to agree to not go above the index.
And just historically, Shippensburg School District has never gone above the index, at least in the documents that we're able to find.
Right, and I wouldn't suspect that anyone here would want to. It's just really interesting that the state would put that condition upon the money. It's a little bit coercive, but whatever.
So like a double dip, tax on it, then don't.
Is there a description that you can provide as to why the increase from last year's 1.6 million and now this year it's over 3 million? Is there descriptions?
I mean, I think it's just basically what the state budget formula produced for adequacy.
Yeah, that was just part of the state budget process. Everything coming out from the beginning stages of the budget process was that ready-to-learn adequacy money was going to remain flat. So that 1.2, 1.3 million, they knew that that was going to stick in there. Towards the end of, I think, the budget process is when they decided to add more into that bucket. And I think in exchange to keep this bit in there that you won't go above the Act 1 index. Districts won't go above the Act 1 index.
Thank you, sir.
Is there anything else on item 6A? All right, so 6B, Music Department resources for disposal. Administration recommends disposing of the following resources from the Music Department that are dated and no longer used. And the list is listed on there. Item 6C, job description for Human Resources Director. Administration recommends approval of the attached job description for the Human Resources Director position. 6D, Shippensburg Area School District STEM grant application. The Greyhound Foundation and the Curriculum Department recommend approval of the attached grant proposal. Item 6E, affiliation agreement with the Commonwealth University of Pennsylvania for practicum and student teaching placements. Administration recommends board approval of the attached 5-year agreement with the Commonwealth University of Pennsylvania for the placement and practicum and student teachers within the district. The agreement does not supersede the agreement with the Shippensburg University. 6F, survey request. Doctoral student Stephanie Benke requests approval to survey high school students for her insertion study on truancy. Proposal is attached. 6G, appointment of tax collector for Newburgh Borough. Due to a vacancy in the Newburgh Borough tax collector position and the fact the Borough of Newburgh has been unable to fill this position, the burden to appoint becomes that of the Shippensburg Area School District for the collection of real estate taxes. And 6H, the high school program of study, which we had that presentation by Blake earlier. And the addition was 6I, adding a position to the Act 93 agreement for a vice principal position.
Yes, let me speak to that for a minute. So what I'm hoping is that administration can draft a specific job title and job description for approval at our next meeting. The need is that, I don't know, I mean, I don't know if the right job title is vice principal, but there is need for more administrative support at the intermediate school as well as the two other elementary schools, and this would be a position designed to address that need.
Anything else on that subject or any of the other items we went over? All right, and then moving on to citizens' comments regarding non-agenda items, and if anybody had signed up, there's no. Okay.
My kind of meeting.
And moving on to board comments. Mr. Scott?
Figures. Um, First, I'd like to thank whoever, I guess Ms. Blake, the high school, or whoever gave this to us. Where did this come from?
The middle school.
Oh, okay. Tell them I thank you, but too much dietetic stuff in here. I'm not into sugar free, so you can slide a few of them in there. I would appreciate it. I like the presentation Ms. Blake gave about the students. To see students getting participated in that. That was very nice. I see something came to mind about the music department, the equipment. How often do we change equipment in the music department? How often do we?
Are you talking with the agenda item, Mr. Scott?
No, yeah, it was on the agenda, but how about like the equipment? Do we have a program on every 4 years we change a trombone or we change a drum, or 10 years or something? Do we have that kind
I mean, I can't speak that, I don't know specifically of the program at this point. I mean, every year, departments put in requests, but I don't know that it's systemic, like we're changing all the trombones this year. It's based on a year-to-year need of what.
But as I've been with the school district, not just this, with equipment and everything, we run it to the end, so it's of no value. And we got kids that need stuff in the band, and parents got to rent stuff in the band. So I would like to know, would you please look at that and see what needs to be replaced and repaired?
I mean, that would come from the music department requests. That would be. I mean, there's a repair budget. It's just not.
Is it substantial enough to repair the equipment or not?
I could speak to it. We all know that. It's definitely not. I mean, it's definitely not. If you go into the high school band room and you go into the cage and you go into the cage and you look up, you'll see a pile of brass that's just rusted and corroded, and there's just instruments up there. There other than what the music boosters have purchased, there's not been any instrument purchasing from the district in 30 years, other than what is purchased through fundraising efforts of parents. There's not been any district instruments purchased.
I just know years ago parents could rent stuff, but I don't know that's a viable option any longer.
And they do. So there's a differentiation between it. Parents do still rent equipment, but the problem is when you get into the high school level and you're talking about marching band, those are instruments that are not typically rented by parents, like, a timpani drum. Like, parents are not going to rent a timpani drum. They're not going to rent marching, drum line equipment. That's all district property. And so that's where the issue is that it's district property that's not being right.
I just asked for that to be looked into.
Yeah.
Are we supplying enough money to support that? Because kids on the band, they're part of our school district, and they want good equipment out there, just like everybody else. Other than that, welcome to 226. I got 2 years ago, and Freddie ain't going flying through. All right, thank you.
Mr. Carey?
Yes, thank you all very much. Thank you for your support to us, and thank you so much for your jobs you do. Really appreciate the aides, teachers, administration. It does take one big effort.
Mrs. Wolfinger?
Happy New Year to all of you guys. I'm glad we could start the year off on a positive, and hopefully we just kind of continue that trajectory for the rest of the year. I appreciate all of your hard work that you guys have always done. I am the proud mom of 4 kids. 3 have already graduated through this amazing district, and it's not because of me, it's because of you. So I appreciate every one of you guys that have helped make my kids the amazing human beings they are, because you contribute to them as much as I do. So I thank you and appreciate you.
Mr. Bard?
None this evening.
Dr. Gates?
Nothing, thanks.
Mr. Noggle?
Well, I'd like to thank everybody that went through difficult negotiations. That was tough. And I'd like to thank folks for the gifts. I'd like to thank the foundation for the work they've done, the donations and things like that. Keep it up, and we'll see where next year brings, or this year brings us.
Mrs. DeLong, you have anything?
No, thank you.
All right. Mr. Barwin?
Nothing, thanks.
Mr. August?
I think I've talked enough tonight.
Mr. Losi?
I almost talked enough, but Miss Fritz, I really want to thank you for the work, for program studies, you and your team, the gift, and that's all I have.
Yeah, thank you for the gift. And man, I don't know. Everybody in this room seems like we're doing a lot of hard work, and everybody here is here for a reason. And I appreciate everybody, and I know we're all working toward a good cause. That's it. So, information date savers, January 26th, Committee of the Whole and Planning Action Meeting, January 19th, Martin Luther King Day, district is closed. January 28th, 2-hour early dismissal for students. And that is it. Meeting adjourned.